Hey all, Dr. Jared here, coming to you today with our summer book club on toxicity. So looking at toxicity, I mean, there's a few things that always seems to be consistent when I either talk to someone or even, when I think about it myself. First of all, we know that toxicity or chemicals are essentially everywhere. It's currently significantly more prevalent or more shown in the media with things like the removing of certain dyes in foods and food colorings, the for sure and consistent link with ADHD, cancer, hormone imbalances. But it can be tough to decide which things you're fully committed to avoiding, which things you can't avoid, how much you want to spend, whether it's purifying your water or just not buying certain foods or exposure levels or whatever it might be. But one thing that I would say is majorly missed is how much these things affect children and how much these things do affect how you look and feel, because it's tough, with cancer. You don't know when cancer is growing in your body. You don't know if these chemicals are harming you. But there are certain things that are really, really consistent. So one is child development. So there are a massive amount of children that, for instance, exhibit ADD and ADHD symptoms. And one of the largest components of this are things in kids' diets. Sugars, processed carbohydrates, and toxicity are strongly linked to ADD and ADHD-like symptoms. And yet the solution medically is actually to put another chemical into the child's body, whether that's Adderall or Ritalin or whatever, which is, of course, not solving the root cause, but is addressing the symptom. And I'm not even here to say whether it's necessary or not for each individual child on an individual basis, but looking at it, true healthcare would try and address the cause of the problem, but also child development. Children, whether it's sex hormones like testosterone development in both men and women, or both boys and girls, but that is affected by the chemicals they're exposed to, as well as really all development hormones. It can also affect things like insulin for type 2 diabetes, which is more and more prevalent in kids. But child development, how tall they're going to grow, how muscular, how much body fat they're going to have, how many hormones, that's or the proper amount of hormones for their body, that's all influenced by toxicity. So toxicity is shown in air, which you may or may not be able to avoid, in foods, which you certainly have an influence in. Getting away from processed foods, dyed and colored foods, chemically altered foods can make a big difference. Even artificial sweeteners, but other things that I would say are often not thought about, but the chemicals that are put on the body. So this is frankly more prevalent in women, but using chemical-based makeups versus mineral-based makeups, deodorants in both men and women, antiperspirants, which have heavy metals, with aluminum being the active ingredient. These are all things that will affect people's hormones, can increase cancer rates, and a variety of other things. And so when you look at as people transition into adulthood, it's called toxin accumulation. And I'll tell you, most people, when I ask them when the last time they did a detox was, very few actually say, hey, I do one once a year, which would be the recommendation, whether you use our supplement, the Cell and Body Detox, or whether you use, another supplement company, or do another type of detox, or whether you use the sauna frequently or whatever. But not addressing that toxicity is a single factor that can really influence people. So now in adults, I want to talk about people who hold weight in improper areas. Often that is a hormone imbalance or a high stress hormone level. So if you're, holding weight in your hips, excess weight in your belly, different things like that, that can really play a factor. It can also significantly affect autoimmune conditions, whether that's, lupus or, there's so many autoimmune conditions at this point, but increased toxicity is absolutely linked to turning on the genes that affect autoimmune conditions. It's so much more prevalent now, where men are using testosterone replacement therapy, taking synthetic testosterone. And when I get asked about it, which is pretty frequently, I often say, well, have you done the things to see if your body will naturally produce more testosterone? And in most cases, the answer is no. They don't look at the plastics, the chemicals, detoxing their body, seeing if their body will make more. There's simply a jump frequently to replacement. Same thing with hormone replacement therapy in women. The thyroid is one of the most, if not the most sensitive organ to toxicity, and so affecting metabolism. And then adrenal glands are also very sensitive and can throw off your sex hormones, your estrogens, your progesterones, your testosterones, but also your quality of sleep. Again, the stress hormone cortisol is linked to retaining body fat. So as you get older, if you can't lose weight even when you eat less, often there's high cortisol levels. And the craziest thing is then when you look at what's the solution to these things, if you follow our traditional American approach, it would be to take medication for your thyroid, or if your skin is showing rashes or eczema or autoimmune conditions, to take steroids, whether those are putting steroids on their skin. If it's causing you to have, adult onset allergies, to take a steroid up your nose or orally, or injecting certain, monthly high dose steroids into your body. And what do all those things do? They basically mask it. They hide your body from showing the symptom or the skin irritation or the congested sinuses. But they actually, think about, if you jam your body's natural detox processes, because snot is a way to get stuff out or not allow more toxins in. Things coming through your skin is your largest detox organ. It's the last one used, but it's the largest detox organ. So by trying to just cover those things up, it can lead to increased other disease processes because you're not really getting to the root cause. So toxicity, I would say, can be difficult, maybe the most complicated. With neurology, get adjusted, work on your posture, build muscle. With food, we can pick certain foods, but toxicity, it's so wide ranging. Some of it can't be avoided. You do have many God-given processes in your body and organs that help you detox. But the question is, are you supporting them, and how seriously are you taking it, really looking into it for a better quality of life, quality of health for you and, all those around you. Have a very blessed day.